When you hear the name Super Seville, Bulova Super Seville, it's no doubt that this is the one you're probably thinking of. Yes, we can all agree that this is the most popular design of the Super Seville. However, this is not the one we're here to talk about today. Today, we're talking about this. This is the newly released 2024 reissue of the Super Seville Square. Hey everybody, Florida Mike here, and today I'm going to be talking about the latest and greatest from Bulova. This time they didn't go quite as far back into the archives, as this watch comes from the very late 70s on into the early 80s. The Super Seville was a very versatile watch with the ability to dress it up or down for whatever the occasion may be. And this reissue is no different. From its squared off TV dial shaped case, the integrated bracelet, and dazzling fluted bezel, this new iteration of the Super Seville is sure to please anyone looking for that one versatile go-to watch in their collection. The one thing everyone wants to know right away are the specs, so let's dive right into it. With this release you get three options: a stainless case with a green dial, a stainless case with a blue dial, and a gold tone case with a silver dial. As per the usual, the case is made from 316L stainless steel and measures 37.5 millimeters wide with a 42.2 lug to lug and a very minimal 10.5 millimeter thickness. The integrated bracelet comes off the lugs at 25.5 millimeters and aggressively tapers down to a manageable 18 millimeters for the remainder of the links that wrap under the wrist. A deployant clasp tucks away nicely, and as you can see, it doesn't stick out any more than it has to, which is nice because it keeps the comfort level up and provides hours of endless wear without that annoying under the wrist kind of pain. And let's not forget the squared off sapphire crystal with a cyclops at the 3 o'clock to magnify the date underneath. As we flip the watch over, you'll find an unusual case back that neither screws down or presses in. Rather, it is attached at all four corners with small screws, which will allow the 30 meters of water resistance. Everything that I've just described was all made to house the fantastic and wonderfully accurate Miyota NM50 262 kHz Precisionist movement, which Bulova claims is accurate to within 10 seconds per year. Bulova has once again reached back into their vast archives and pulled forward another winner. Personally, I'm glad they didn't go with the traditional rounded style case, but rather with the TV dial design. It just shows that they like to think outside of the box a little bit and shake things up. As a lover of funky 70s watches, I welcome the loud, in-your-face, chunky designs that showcase what 70s watchmaking was all about. This watch doesn't do that though. Its subdued color tone and thin profile sit delightfully on the wrist without the need to show itself off. It's one of those if you know kind of watches. The Super Seville retains most, if not all, of the small details from the original. For instance, the crystal that isn't tall or boxed, but rather just sits above the fluted bezel. Also brought forward from the original is the tuning fork logo and classic Bulova script at the 12 o'clock. But what is missing is the Super Seville text, which instead can be found etched into the caseback. The aforementioned tuning fork can also be found on the crown. The date cyclops is not always well received, but I'm glad they stuck with it. And while I'm generally not a fan of a fluted bezel, again, this case accepts it well, and it does glare nicely both under artificial and natural light. A white minute track runs around the outer raised edge of the dial, and Roman numerals can be found at all the major 5-minute intervals. Even though the dial color is subdued, it really comes to life in direct sunlight and shows just how deep your color of choice can go. Lastly, we can't forget the bracelet. The integrated taper works perfectly, and the short links articulate well around the wrist. While you do lose the ability to micro-adjust without the presence of a typical fold-over style clasp, Bulova does give you 2 half links to help make up the difference and really dial in your ideal bracelet length. Here's the deal. This is not a sample watch sent to me by the brand. I actually spent my hard-earned dollars on this one, and therefore I can be honest and tell you what I don't like, right? So here it is. While I love the presence of the Cyclops, I wish it was ever so slightly larger to focus on a little more than just the date disc. The beautifully framed date window is there, but oddly somehow managed to get lost even under magnification. Also, when it comes to the gold tone option, I'm not entirely thrilled with the color choice they went with for the dial. Had it been a matching gold dial, that probably would have been the watch I bought instead. But again, that's just my personal preference, and if you're someone who appreciates a two-tone watch, then that colorway just might be the one for you. Ah yes, the great topic of debate, price. Here's how it breaks down. Both the green and blue stainless steel options will run you $695, and for a little less than $100 more, the gold tone option comes in at $775. Now, I think the price is just right for what you're getting. The history, the attention to detail, the quality of the materials, fit and finish is spot on, and let's not forget that precisionist movement. Comparatively, and at the time of this review, you can find a few of the original square models listed for sale at just over $1,000. While there is something to be said for having an original piece, at either of the $695 or $775 price points, that makes these modern reissues a bargain. You don't have to be an avid collector or even a major fan of Bulova to enjoy this watch. I think this will appeal to so many people outside of the collector space. I also don't think that these are the only Super Seville releases that we'll see, as I'm sure in time we'll find some new colorways to hit the market. If you're thinking about this watch as your first foray into Bulova, or if you're looking to add another historical piece into your collection, then I wouldn't look any further. The Super Seville is ready to welcome you with an open clasp. Thank you all for watching, and let me know in the comment section below what you think of this watch and what your favorite colorway is. Also, if you're new here, welcome, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss any of our podcast episodes. You can also listen on Spotify and find us on Instagram at the Spring Bar Podcast. Again, I'm Florida Mike, and until my next watch review, cheers.